Hello, my dear art lovers and art friends. In this episode, I talk to the multi-talent Johan Wahlström about his work. He's a painter, but also was a musician. The episode was recorded in spring 2022. Johan's works combines uniquely abstract art with figurative art. We hear how this combination succeeds, why he has lived all over the globe, and how he escaped the drug milieu of the rock music scene. Johan was also a horseback rider in dressage and started till Grand Prix tournaments, which is fantastic. You can follow my Instagram account to get more site information, and I would be happy to get a like for my podcast. How is the art scene ticking? Everything we always wanted to know about art. This is the podcast of Petra Lossen. Hello, Johan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. We have spring outside here. How's the weather in New York?
Today it's sunny and spring as well.
Okay, my feeling is that we, in Switzerland, we always have the same weather like the New Yorker.
Of course.
That's curious.
Yeah, I know. I heard that before.
Okay.
Quite interesting, actually.
Johan, thank you for joining my podcast. I hope we will have an interesting conversation about you, your life, and your art. Johan, you are an artist in the 5th generation from your mother's side, but your career did not start as a usual artist. What did your mother do?
My mother, she was a painter, but she could not pursue her career as an artist because she had to travel with my dad, who was a businessman, and she usually had to go with him on all over the world.
Yeah.
And so I was my grandmother was babysitting me and my siblings, and she was a full-time artist. And as well as my mother's grandfather and the generation before that, etc. So yeah, I am the 5th generation of artists on my mother's side.
You were born in Sweden, right?
Yes, Stockholm, Sweden, actually, in the capital.
Yeah, when you say Stockholm, then I can hear the Swedish accent.
Yes, that's what happens when you're not born in an English-spoken country. You get an accent.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, your English is absolutely super fine.
Well,
And then you grew up in Stockholm.
yes.
And you made the normal school, I guess. Did you study art in Stockholm?
No, I did not. I did not even finish high school.
Okay.
I left school when I was 17.
And you did it because you were bored of being at school?
I did it because I was not interested in school. I thought it was not. It was too easy, and I found it boring when it was too easy. And I had other plans. I was at the time. I was painting. I was painting. I was writing music, and I wanted to be either in a rock and roll band or just to be painting. But I was also skiing, and I was pretty good at skiing at the time.
Yeah.
So
with 17, that's much more interesting. So you started a career as a musician?
No, when I was 18, they started to give me money for skiing.
Ah.
I was doing freestyle skiing. I became professional when I was like 18.
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought you started with the music.
Indeed, as well. What happened was that when I was the summer, when I'm born in the fall, so 2 years later in the summer, we were the year before in the summer just before I was going to turn 20.
Mm-hmm.
We were on a training camp in Tignes in France, where they have summer skiing as well. And I got really big pain in both of my knees. And and so I went through some exams, and it turned out that I could not continue skiing on a competitive level.
Ouch, yeah.
And I had also written a bunch of songs, So when I was I was 20 years old, but the year I was going to turn 21, I got signed to a Swedish record label, made an album, and then I got stuck there for 18 years in the music. And I was painting on the side all the time.
Okay. And you have worked together with big musicians, well-known musicians.
I worked with Ian Hunter, Graham Parker, Mick Ronson, Dan Reed, and a few others.
And so 18 years, that's quite a long time. And why did you stop making music?
Because I didn't want to die.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to stay alive.
why do you die if you make music?
Well, depends if you have a good talent for doing the rock and roll lifestyle.
I
I,
understand.
I got addicted to drugs and alcohol.
Okay, yeah.
So I left the music after 18 years and moved to the south of France, and where I got sober and clean, and I have been sober and clean from drugs now for, oh my God, I think it's how many years ago? It's 23 years now.
Okay, fine. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then so in France, I just decided to get my life back in shape and in order, and I was focusing on my painting and my horses.
Ah, you also have horses, but not now, huh? Not anymore.
No,
It was at
not
that
since
time.
I stopped horses when I moved to United States
Yeah.
uh, six years ago.
How many horses did you have?
At the time, I had four of them.
Okay, and was jumping or dressage? Or
Dressage.
dressage, like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, no, I competed up to high level dressage.
And was like St. Georg or?
I did all the way up to Grand Prix, actually.
Oh wow! And you don't miss it?
I do, but it takes a lot of time
Yeah, that's right.
and it takes a lot of money.
Yes, that's right.
And today I am very focused and been for now for many years on my career as an artist.
Yeah, okay. And so then you were in France, and I remember you told me that you stayed in a small village for about 7 years.
Yes.
And from France, you moved to New York, or?
No,
No.
I moved to, actually, I went to Miami for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like it too much. And then I moved to Spain.
Ah.
So in Miami, I was painting and with horses, but north of Miami. So I was in a little place called Coral Springs, and then I did a lot of horse work up in Wellington.
Okay.
And then didn't like it too much there, so I moved back to Spain.
Yeah.
And I stayed in Spain for 11 years.
Okay. And how do you just choose, oh, I go to France. Oh, no, I don't like it anymore. Go to Miami. Oh, then I go to Spain.
Yeah,
Yeah, really. Was the way you decided this movements?
yes.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
I think it's good to try different places to live and, see different type of lifestyles, different cultures, etc.
Yeah. So, and then I think when we met first, which is a couple of years ago, I think you were still in Spain, right? And then you moved to New York.
Yes, I was in Spain when we met the first time.
Exactly. And the reason why you went to New York, was it because of being an artist and that New York is better for your career as an artist, as a painter?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
And now it is already a few years that you are in New York.
Yes.
And how is life in New York as an artist?
I like it. It's been very good to me, and It's an expensive city, unfortunately, but also has so much to offer.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
I actually love being here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So it was a good decision for you to go.
Absolutely.
And did your expectations regarding art, did they come true? Did New York help you with your art?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, expectations, they could be small or they could be large. And
Mm,
yeah, I've met some of my targets, yes, but I'm far from where all the way where I want to be.
yeah.
But working hard on a plan, and you have to stick to it. And and it's starting to come into the situations that I really want to be in. I mean, I've ended up in a lot of big private collections now, and some museum collections, and I have now a couple of solo museum shows lined up for myself, and which is I'm not sure that would have happened for me if I had stayed in Spain, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually doing a show in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, in the fall, in a museum there called Pinoteca,
Uh-huh.
and I'm doing another museum show in Chicago, January 2024, in the Swedish American Museum,
Yeah.
which is a museum that has been there for about 40 years. So 40 years, and they permanent exhibition is about Swedish and Scandinavian immigration into United States, because in that part of USA, that's where a lot of the Scandinavians ended up, in the northern part, Midwest, the north part of the Midwest.
Yeah.
Then they have temporary galleries where they show art from artists that either were born in Scandinavia or have Scandinavian heritage.
Yeah.
Heritage.
Mm, Johan, I would like to talk with you about your art. Um, you paint faces and human bodies.
Mm.
Could you explain us how you developed this style, this way of painting, and why are you painting faces and human bodies?
So I paint about today's society. Faces for me is the audience, is you, us, we, looking at the events that goes on nearby or far away. It could be big political events, but it could also be in our personal lives. So I'm trying to catch feelings, emotions that I believe that many of us either have had or will have one day. And it could be happy, it could be sad, it could be surprised, it could be anxiety, it could be with a big question in your brain. It could be anything. So that's what I do.
Yeah. And often your paintings are very dark and narrative. Is this to give the people the feeling that something is wrong, that is something is sad, or what is the reason?
Well, put it this way: when we have a bad day, we have to remember that someone else going to have a much worse day.
Yeah.
So rather than complain about small issues in life, we should embrace life and be happy, and be, especially because we're still
Yeah.
alive, which, and as long as we're alive we can do something good. I believe that either you paint something very happy or you paint something very dark.
Yeah.
I think one of the two. I have a target that I want people to either love my art or hate it,
Okay. Yeah.
because in both scenarios the viewer will not forget.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that there's nothing worse than looking at art or listen to music or see a movie or eat in a restaurant. you know It's just in the middle, right? It was neither really good or really bad, which means that we forget it. It was average.
Yes.
So it has to be something that you either hate or you
Yeah.
love, because we never forget it.
Johan, some of your paintings remind me to the artist Pollock. Have you heard that before?
Yes, I have heard that, and I'm using a little bit of Pollock technique in some of my paintings, but there is a big difference. I've taken abstraction to a new level because abstract art is supposed to be nothing. And to paint nothing is more or less impossible because most viewers, when they see an abstract piece, they try to see something, such as a face or an object or a
Mm.
landscape or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to play with that. So from a distance, when you look at my work, it's pretty much just abstraction. But then when you come closer to it, you're going to see that there's tons of figuration inside that pops out depending on the distance you have to the painting or and how the light falls. Like in my blue work, which is consists of 25-30 layers of different shades in blue.
Mm-hmm.
The painting totally changed during the day depending on how the daylight falls.
Uh-huh.
It's like walking into the ocean. And so I actually had a review on my last show a month ago here in New York by Anthony Hayden Guest, who is a major art critic. And he said that wrote that he see my art as being a postmodernism taken to an extreme.
Uh-huh.
The essence of the story that he wrote is that I've taken abstraction to a new level because I'm playing with people's mind, and for a certain distance, from a certain distance, it's totally abstract, and then you see that it's actually a mix of abstraction and figuration, primarily hidden, but still there.
So you don't play only with the mind of the watching people. You play with figurative and
Yes,
abstract work.
yeah.
And those paintings, who reminds me to Pollock, are these paintings on paper or linen?
Linen.
Are they in oil or in
I
acrylic?
paint on canvas, and the medium I'm using is urethane as a binder, and I mix it with color pigment. So I create my own paint. And then I also, once in a while, on certain paintings, I use Chinese ink but in the form of a pen,
Yeah.
an ink pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as an uncompromising painter?
Yes, I do what I like to do. I don't follow trend, and I'm basically trying to create my own style.
Yeah. I remember paintings of you, and I also had it in a show in Zurich of, for example, as you paint also politically,
Mm.
you painted Trump, but I haven't seen something from Biden. Is this not interesting for you? Is he not interesting for you?
I don't find him, he doesn't have a strong enough profile, in my opinion,
Oh, okay.
to paint. And I don't take a real political standpoint, for or against a political leader. I'm just trying to paint what I observe.
Yeah.
And so when I do like my very clear, socially and politically engaged paintings, I need to paint it with something that is sort of someone, a person, or an event that really stands out.
Yeah. So explain us, please, why you painted Trump.
Well, I painted him in the fall of autumn of 2015 and throughout 2016. So I started to paint him as a topic because I found it hilarious and very interesting that someone who has no knowledge about being a president or being a politician, who has been a pretty unsuccessful businessman in many respects, but and a successful TV show host, how that allows you to become the leader of the most powerful nation on the planet. And
Yeah.
I found that as a very interesting subject to paint.
Yeah.
Well, compared with Biden, who has he's been a politician all his life.
Yeah. You already told us a bit of the upcoming projects, but I wanted to know, I remember you've been in Dubai.
Yeah,
You were in Dubai with an exhibition. So the last months, I'd say the last half year, you were very busy with exhibitions. Could you please let us know where you've exhibited and something about the exhibitions?
I opened an exhibition in Dubai and in London on March 3rd in both cities because it's the same gallery owner. The title of the exhibition is Connectivity, and it's up and running until mid of May. And connectivity is a theme that I paint under right now, based on that it's so easy to connect with anyone around the world through the internet and through our phones. So then my question in my brain is that if it's so easy to connect, shouldn't that also be possible for us to work together and not work against each other? And so I'm painting around that theme about connectivity. And then I had a show in New York in March. And I have one in Miami right now. And I'm opening in Oslo, Norway on May 28th.
So you're very, very busy. I'm very happy for you. That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah. I'm really busy, actually.
And all these exhibitions are regarding the subject connectivity.
Yes.
Okay. Johan, is there something you want to share with the people listening to the podcast?
Well, I believe that we're all so closely connected today. When it's so easy to connect with someone anywhere in the world, we should find ways to work together and not work against each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we can compare it with a time not that long ago when you had to ride a horse for, let's say, 5 days to deliver a message.
Yeah.
And today we can reach each other within less than a second.
Yeah. It's like you are in New York. It's now close to 11 a.m. and I am in Switzerland. It's close to 5 p.m. and it's just working in an outstanding way. Johan, it was very interesting talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope you will continue your way in New York. And I'm pretty sure we will hear about you.
Thank you.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. All right. Thank you for talking, and nice talking to you.
Thank you. Same to you. How is the art scene ticking? Everything we always wanted to know about art. This is the podcast of Petra Lossen.